Hello and welcome back to the Penno Channel. We're back. This long international break is nearly over. Villa play Everton on the weekend at Villa Park, back in the Barclays Premier League. A lot's been going on in this international break, bro. How you doing? How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm really good, bro. Looking forward to Villa being back this weekend. What about yourself?
Yeah, doing good, bro. Just relaxed over the weekend a bit, watched a bit of the international football. We'll discuss one of our players playing, and we can just look at how our other players got on as well, because a number of them were playing. But yeah, man, just chilled. The normal stuff, man. What about you? Did you get up to much?
Yeah, I don't watch any of the football really when it's international break. I like to just step back. But I did watch the England game against Ireland, which was pretty good. I thought England played quite well, actually. But yeah, man, just Premier League, you can't beat the Premier League. So when
Nah.
it's back, we've got over that initial week now, and it's almost just like this week just goes fast now until Saturday.
Yeah, for sure. And NFL, we like NFL as well, and it's NFL was back on the weekend as well. So that kind of, you know, took a bit away from it. And without Villa playing on the weekend, it was good to watch. So yeah, bro. Let's get into it then, because we're talking about international breaks and stuff like that. We'll start by what's your feeling regarding internationals in general, then, and then being undertaken. Like the Nations League coming into play. 3 weeks into the season, we're already playing internationals, and as we'll get on to with Konsa, he's picked up a potential injury. No evaluation as of yet, and if he will be available for the weekend. But yeah, what's your overarching feelings regarding these internationals? Because I'm like, bunning, man.
Yeah, I find them boring. I understand that they have to take place, but they don't interest me one bit really. Like the Nations League, I don't know any team. I couldn't tell you what league, which country's in, or how it works, bro. Like the Nations League, I just rather just go back to I just don't care. I just don't honestly, I just don't care, bro. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But the
Did
England game
Nations
caught
League?
my carry on.
No, I was just saying, I forgot England got relegated, didn't it? So that was a surprise for us. I forgot they got relegated. So yeah, when they're playing within that, the teams they're playing against, okay, they're not to that caliber. But yeah, the Ireland game was interesting, obviously with Rice and Grealish and all that, the histrionics around that one as well. And the Finland game, it was nice to see new players into the squad. Like Angel Gomez, Madueke, Morgan Gibbs White, Morgan Rogers as well was very unlucky, and it was nice to watch him playing the under-21s because he was absolutely balling out the other day. Kind of split screening between that and watching Anana and Tillemans in a double pivot against France. But yeah, a lot of our players are involved in these, and we'll crack on with a few of them and discuss a few of them. Firstly, Ezra Konsa played last night, came off injured. Now, it didn't look too bad. He initially got injured. He went off for a bit, and then he tried to continue for about 5 minutes. Played on, and he just ended up walking off. Now, he walked off unaided. There's no one around him. Seemed like a problem with his foot potentially. So hopefully Ezri Konsa's okay. And that's just one of the drawbacks of these internationals. 3 weeks into the season, it only feels like yesterday they were playing at the Euros, and yeah, they're back at it again. But yeah, bro, Ezri Konsa, just hoping that he's fit for the weekend, isn't it?
I heard Ezri is just a knock. Like
Yeah.
they'll find out tomorrow whether he can play against Everton, but I heard it's just a knock. There's no injury.
Yeah, he did. He played well, and someone says in the comments when we get to him, he played a great free ball for Bukayo Saka to create one of the chances. He did play really well, really assured, and it's no surprise now if Ezri Konsa is just a Rolls Royce in it, and he's assured within his performance. But yeah, going on to more players, obviously, Yuri Tillemans and Amadou Onana, it was just no different to their weeks leading up. They've played together now for how many months, if you include the Euros, then coming to Villa and then back on their internationals. They played 2 games in the Nations League, lost to France, but got a good victory against Israel with Yuri Tillemans scoring. That just gives them, again, more time to work on that partnership for when it comes back to the league games, isn't it?
Yeah, facts. I don't know. I think I seen like De Bruyne go on like a mad rant for the France game that Anana had to come out and like was asked about Belgium. I don't know. They always seem to like be beefing with each other. It seems like
They do,
Tillemans and
innit?
Anana are the only people that are actually cool with each other. So Yeah, man.
Yeah,
One
it's
thing I
interesting
noticed
the
as
way
well.
they play. Yeah, go on.
I was gonna say Costa as well got his first start for Serbia. So apparently Villa now owe like 1.5 mil to Red
Yeah,
Star or something like that. That I saw, but yeah,
wicked.
big up Costa as well.
I
18
watched that
starting for
game.
Serbia. Did you?
Watched that game against Spain, and he played really well. In defensive aspects, I mean, going forward, there wasn't much really for him, but in defensive aspects, he's coming against one of the best wingers in the world who absolutely showed up Kyle Walker at the Euros. So he did really well against him on his side. Nico Williams didn't really do much at all. And they ended up drawing 0-0. So yeah, he had a really assured performance within that game. And that just bodes well, man. 18 years old. Mad. Absolutely mad. The potential that guy has for sure. A few others that are in there. Last night, if you didn't know, Emi Martinez faced up against John Duran, and Colombia got the better of Argentina, winning 2-1. Also, John Duran got himself an assist in the first game with a glancing header for Luis Diaz as well. So again, John Duran just had a great week and a bit. Emi,
He was unlucky not to score in that game, Duran should have scored in that game as well, which would have been quite funny if he scored on Martinez. Like how that would have been. I seen Villa already led with Duran's Colombia defeat Argentina, which I thought was funny on their website.
Yeah, facts. That was jokes as well. Luca Dean got a start for France as well in that same Belgian game. So we had 3 Villa players starting in that game as well. I thought he was quite assured. I thought he had a decent performance. He was putting some good balls into the box, considering he's been out of international action for such a long time. And then the under-21s, Morgan Rogers had an absolute show, put on an absolute show the other day, getting 2 goals within that game. Illing Jr. playing alongside him within that game as well, getting an assist. So it's good to see Illing Jr. playing, and because we didn't see much of him within pre-season, and then obviously he's gone on loan to Bologna now, and we'll probably be seeing him play against us in a few weeks' time. I think that would be for sure. Apart from that, bro, anyone else I've missed? I think Matson played a few games for the under-21s for the Dutch.
Did Torres play for Spain?
I don't think he got on. He didn't get on the first game anyway.
They treat him like, not that I'm bothered, innit, but they treat him like rubbish, I think, man. Like, this is Torres. He's arguably one of their best defenders, I think.
Yeah, they don't. They favour Lamond, don't they, and Laporte, and I think Laporte still has it over in that left centre back position, even though he went to Saudi. They still favour him short.
Yeah, and then
that's the European champions. You know what I mean?
They got the youth from Barcelona as well. Starts as well, doesn't he? Who's also
Kabasi.
Yeah.
So yeah, that rounded off the international break, and all the Villa players in action. And hopefully they all return to training tomorrow, and they're all fit and available.
We need to hear about Leon Bailey. That's been radio silent, so I'm not really looking forward to hearing about. He's not been training. Didn't go with Jamaica. He's got a hamstring injury, so let's see how long Villa or Emery says in his presser how long he'll be out for. Man.
Well, there's few in there, isn't there? There's Matty Cash didn't train before. Also, there's Philogene.
Cash is back training though, but he's just not on the grass. But he's back like in Bodymore. Like Bailey, I haven't seen any pictures of Bailey.
Philogene as well. Have you seen anything of Philogene?
Yeah, Philogene as well.
Yeah. So there's a few players within that potentially, and hopefully are back in training tomorrow. So yeah, bro, talking about training and Villa, big news and a shocker to me. Boubacar Kamara's back in first team training. Like, I did not expect the turnaround to be that quick. Now, obviously, it's going to be a few more weeks probably before he's in the first team squad. But to see him back on the grass training with the first team, along with Tyrone Mings returning as well, playing on the grass, it's just what you want to see, man, isn't it?
Yeah, I was surprised. I can't lie, I was surprised. I thought he'd probably be doing solo contact training with like a trainer or something. I didn't think he'd be with the squad actually, like doing drills and stuff like that. So yeah, good to see him back, man. And I hope we don't rush him. I really hope we don't rush him. There's no need to rush him back. And maybe he might get a feature against Wickham, do you reckon? Is that too soon? If he comes off the bench for that, is that too soon for that all that? Or
potentially, because we've seen the process Emi Buendia's in. He only just got minutes in the that cup game, the trophy game.
Yeah,
Um,
against
so
Fleetwood.
Emi Buendia, that's the only, against Fleetwood, that's the only minutes Emi Buendia's got since, and he's been on the bench since the start of the season. So I don't see Mings and Kamara being rushed back. I think they'll have the same program as Emi Buendia, and they'll probably have a few times where they're in the squad and they don't even get minutes. So Wickham, I don't know. That might be too soon, I think. But yeah, just great to see him back, man. And like, he just the depth of this squad. It's just mad because I saw something today regarding the two squads that we can potentially field, and we have players in every position now. Obviously, availability and being fully fit is a big thing. We saw that last season, towards the end of last season, when we had a number of youngsters on the bench because we had so many injuries. But if the majority can stay fit, we've got a very, very healthy squad going forward for sure.
It's the attack. It's the attack. I think defensively was still just like you've seen. If Save Konsa was to miss Everton, Carlos back in training, you might have to be tempted by Beauregard starting, whatever. I think in attack we're stacked. I just think defensive probably just missing one or two maybe.
When you look at it though, there's two players for every position plus Beauregard in the squad in defence. When all's fully available, there's 8 defenders plus Beauregard as well. So I think that's healthy if they stay fit. As I said, I think that's healthy. You've got 2 players for every position, and you've got Lamar Beauregard as well. But yeah, going into the comments, Wolves. Thanks for joining, Wolves. He says, "Hi lads. Hopefully all the lads are fit and ready to go." Yeah, for sure. There's a number of them we haven't heard from as of yet, so let's hope they are. Kevin, hi guys. Thanks for joining, Kevin. He says Konsa's fine, just a small knock apparently. Yeah, that's what it looked like and what I gauged from it. Wolf says Finland and Ireland, meh, yeah, the games weren't that attractive. I mean, it was just the Declan Rice and Grealish thing regarding Ireland that gave it a bit of extra spice. Kevin says Digne played well for France. Yeah, he did. I thought he had a decent game. Wolf says great through ball from Konsa for that goal. For the goal. Yeah, it was. Just a bit of technicalities there. Just going back. Sharik joined. Thanks for joining, Sharik. He says, without Tielemans, we've got no like replacement when he gets injured. I think we'll look for Tielemans. The replacement would be Ross Barkley to fill into that section. I don't know what your thoughts are regarding that, bro. If Tielemans does get injured.
Yeah, Barkley will be the most like for like in that aspect. Yeah, I agree.
But how do you think we set up now? If Tielemans, when Kamara's fully fit, how do you think we set up? Who misses out there? Because Boubacar Kamara is one of our best players. He comes straight back in, you'd think.
Does he? I don't know, I don't know if he does. Like, I've seen a lot of people say, like, it goes straight to Nana Kamara with, like, Tielemans push forward. So then who comes out then? Ramsey. I wouldn't be taking Ramsey out of the team.
Well, Ramsey doesn't start anywhere.
Well, if we're assuming Bailey's injured now, isn't it? Because Bailey's going to be out for a while. If the hamstring's serious, and we could be looking at a similar injury to Matty Cash's, isn't it? So say 3-4 weeks, whatever. If that's the case, then yeah, I don't know. I think Kamara's going to need time, man. I think he's going to need a lot more time. Like, I think he could be training, but it's match fitness, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm just in regards to when he is fully fit. I think he's a starter for me, for sure. So it'd be interesting to see how that develops and what positions Tielemans and Nana and Kamara do occupy within the team. You've got McGinn as well. You've got Ramsey. Yeah, man, there's so many options as well. It's looking good. Kevin says Ian Jr. did well for the under-21s. Forgot about him. Yeah, he did. He had a good performance, and that bodes well. Wolf says Digne is getting better with age. Maatsen will get frustrated soon. You watch. I don't think Maatsen will get frustrated. I think Maatsen will soon be in the side. We have so many games this season. I think Maatsen, we've seen what he can do when he's played, especially against West Ham and Arsenal. We saw what he could do when he got on the pitch. I think it will be a matter of time before Maatsen gets into the side, but Digne is fighting for that shirt for sure. Wolf says, Emmy not happy. Yeah, did you see that incident?
He slapped the camera.
He was not happy. He was not feeling it. Kevin says Maatsen will start at Wickham. Mad, but that's depth. It is for sure. That's a Champions League team this season. Fall back there. And Kevin says Kamara stays on the bench again. That's depth. Yeah, the depth is coming back. Obviously, with these few players with slight injuries and niggles, hopefully they're back. But that means we have a full competent squad. Going into a jam-packed season, and now after this international break, bro, Premier League, Champions League, League Cup games all coming up within the space of a month. It's exciting times, isn't it?
Yeah, it's big time excitement. Young boys, our first Champions League away game. Villa fans will be expecting us to win, but that's not going to be easy as well. But it will be nice to get off to a winning start in the Champions League. But I think Everton at home, I don't think you can. No game's easy, but if you were to choose, you would probably say one of them teams like to come back off international break. We might have some injuries. You don't want to have too much of a tough fixture like away from home or whatever, or even at home. So hopefully we can just get the 3 points this Sunday. Sean Dyche is under a lot of pressure at the moment. Everton fans have started to turn on him. They're coming with a lot of unrest and they need 3 points. Like they need to get some points on the board. They're bottom of the league. I just hope that we can perform and just get an early goal and just set the tone for the game.
Yeah, that's for sure what we want. Just to get the early goal and make it comfortable. Obviously, we're going to have Emmy and John Duran coming back from South America, and then a number of internationals coming back as well. So yeah, the early goal will be key, and it's nice that the game's at 5:30 and not 12:30. It's a later kick-off that will work to our advantage, hopefully, as well.
Watkins,
I carry on.
We ain't even got a Watkins update.
Yeah, exactly.
Going on. We don't know what's happened with Watkins. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's mad. It's mad. We ain't heard nothing about Watkins or Bailey. Two big players, man. But before we continue, I've got to say, if you could like the stream, subscribe as well. And drop your comments in the comment section as well. We're going to continue to read those and at the end of the video as well. So subscribe and drop the video a like. Bro, so just thinking of our squad and in preparation for everything going forward, how do you see us operating through these Champions League and League Cup ties in the Premier League? Do you think we'll see a lot of rotation when it comes to the cup games, or do you think we'll prioritise the Champions League in some aspects? How's your feeling towards that, or do you think it will be quite a settled 11 and just one or two changes at each time?
Wickham away, I'm expecting full rotation, and Emery will go there like, okay, you guys are the guys trying to break into the squad. You go and prove to me that you can beat Wickham away. Like, really, this should have no excuse in it. So I'm not expecting to see any first teamer start against Wickham. I think Emery will fully rotate that game and say, you go out, I'm going to give you an opportunity, you better perform and get us through to the next round. I think with the Champions League, Premier League rotation, because it's early on in the season, players aren't naturally that exhausted yet. So I think at the start, we won't see too much rotation. But when we get into like November times, I think that's where we start to see more rotation, and maybe like Barkley starting a Premier League game maybe, or Philogene even starting a Premier League game. That's where I think the rotation comes in later in the schedule.
Yeah, that the potential. I agree with that. I think that's how we'll look to set up. Just utilising the squad, and Emery knows how to utilise the squad. He's been in cup competitions and won them as well, so he'll know how to mix and match and use the squad to its fullest for sure. I think that mainly covers everything around Villa as well. Mings as well. He'll get the time he requires to bed back in, won't he, for sure? And will be good competition for Pal, I think, depending on the games as well, and stylistically or teams that we play against. That will be good competition for that right centre-back side. And with Lenglet, us not re-signing Lenglet this season, we could really do with a fit and healthy Tyrone Mings, couldn't we?
Yeah, because as things stands, we are down on the left centre-back position as things stands, because Mings isn't available yet. And we still don't know what type of player is going to be. So in that aspect from last season, we are weaker. So let's just hope Mings can just come back stronger, be the same player he was last year, and hopefully he can kick on, man. But I wouldn't. What
about Courtney Horse? Where is that guy? I hope he's doing good, man. Because he's still with the club, isn't he?
I think so, but I don't think he was registered in the Premier League.
Nah, he wasn't. Yeah, mad that he's just not returned all these years, or not not managed to get rid of him.
Who do you think's going to be the biggest threat for Everton at the weekend? What do you think we'll have to be sharp on?
Tim Irigbunam, say his name. Because the players they play who are former Villa players usually have top games against us.
And he's been their best player. He's been their best player so far this season.
Yes,
according to their fans.
I think Iliman and Dye will be their best player. When he was at Marseille, obviously when he was at Sheffield United, he was quality. I thought he was quality in the Championship. Got the move to Marseille, and has ended up moving back to the Premier League. And he has so much ability. If you caught the Bournemouth game, you'd have seen like he was running the game in all aspects, playing just behind Calvert-Lewin. He's a quality player, and if he can get into those spaces in between our midfield and in front of our back four, he'll cause us problems. So yeah, I'm gonna go Iliman and Dye.
Yeah, I think Iliman and Dye is a great shout. Like I agree with that as well, Tim. And I think the guy you mentioned, man, Calvert-Lewin, I've always said he's one of them strikers that will get a chance. He might not bury the chance, but if you remember last season, he got a 1v1 against us in the 0-0 that Emi saved. That could have changed the game. He always seems to get a big chance whenever he plays us. So we need to lock him down as well, man, because his movements, I've always loved Calvert-Lewin's movements. He just lacks the consistency with like staying fit and some of his chances that he doesn't finish. So yeah, keep him quiet as well. But Branthwaite being out is going to be massive again, I think. That he's their guy. He's their best defender. Him coupled with Seamus Coleman as well might be injured. He's their leader. I don't know if Ashley Young's still suspended or not.
We're going to get onto him as well.
Young's always on the mad one, it seems, man. The guy's always suspended nowadays. But
we're going to get onto him because
Branthwaite is massive. I think they'll play Michael Keane and
Tarkowski.
Yeah. So
Michael's joined. He says, "Good evening, all. Thanks for joining, Michael." He also says, "It's really good seeing our long-term injuries back, but we must be patient with them. But we will have a stronger bench if they can give us 20-odd minutes from the bench until they gain full fitness." Agreed. I think Emi Buendia will get some minutes on the weekend as well. He's now played. Yeah, he's played in a game now, which is a competitive match, albeit with us, against a side who are not at the same strength. But I think he may come on and get minutes now. I think as well. I think he will do, especially if it's in a situation where we're in a good lead. I think he'll come on for sure. And he always bags against Everton, so get him on for it. He has a great record against Everton, does Emi Buendia. So, bro, you mentioned Ashley Young, and he'll be returning this weekend, obviously.
So he can play?
If he's available. Was it a straight red, Brighton? Was it 2 yellows? I think it was 2 yellows, so I think he's back. But Ashley Young, John Carew, if you've seen this on Twitter, this Barclaysman era of football nostalgia and people reminiscing of the noughties and the tens and the teams within that and that proper nostalgia. First thing I want to do is I want to ask you: is football worse now, or is it better?
What do you mean by worse?
I just want to get your opinions as an entity. I'm going to go first as a spectacle, as entertainment.
I think it's so nuanced, like the question. Like,
I'm just going for your opinion.
Firstly, a big factor I think is we know about nostalgia. When you're a child, everything seems better, and it's the only thing that's like important in your life. You have less worries. We reminisce about our childhood. We remember it more fonder as time passes on because you remember less about like the negative stuff as well. So I think that plays a part with it as well. You're growing up, you're not older than the players that are playing, so they're still idols to you in a sense. You look up to them as well. I think that's a big factor. I think in the modern game, tactically, I think the level's better. I think players are fitter, and I think the standard is higher. But in the older games, I think there is that factor of entertainment because the spaces were bigger. Players probably had more freedom because they had more time on the ball due to like defenses not being as structured. And probably coupled with the production maybe on Sky, maybe felt better at the time. I mean, they had that top four thing that they used to do, the Grand Slam Sunday stuff, the music, players that we grew up with, like Lamps, Gerrard, all them guys. Like, I don't know, maybe that's a factor as well. So yeah, I think it's nuanced, but I love football when I was growing up. I still love football now. I just enjoy it in a different way.
Yeah, I think that is the best way of putting it. I think as a whole, that technically and the whole essence tactically, it has got a lot better. But it's the elements of moments. I think shooting's definitely changed in the modern game. The positions of shots being taken, the distance as well.
Yeah.
I think it was more frequent where a pot shot would be encouraged, and not so much now. You look to play with that. Obviously, you've got playing from the back now, which wasn't really a thing as much by as many teams back then. So those elements that are contrasting, but yeah, I think the game today is much better for sure.
With the pot shots thing as well, I'd argue as well, like, whilst we got screamers, there'd always just be times as well. Just remember, like, your guy is running to shoot and you've got players open for bench, and then you're just like, oh, what are you shooting for, man? Like, I remember that side as well. Like, it's nuanced, isn't it? Like, we remember all the screamers, but then there's the other side that used to like annoy me and piss me off as well. So that's how I feel, man.
Yeah, but, those ones when you're like, "Oi!" You don't hear as many of them these days.
It's factual though. Like, what you're saying is like teams discourage shooting long range now because it's just less likely to lead to a goal. So that is true. That is fact. That is what managers do now. So it's more steady. It's more choreographed in that sense. So I get why people might find that less entertaining. Like, I completely understand the perspective. Like, I'm not saying it's not like that as well. I think there's elements that I miss from the game growing up, and there's elements that I like now that I prefer.
For sure. And the thing is as well, talking about that era and the team we had around that time, we're like synonymous with that era in terms of not one of the top four, because it was the top four at that point, but we were plucky trying to get into that top four with Spurs and Man City. We were around the same time. So a lot of people who watch football and watched it in that era are quite fond of Villa and the team we had under Martin O'Neill and the players that we had with that, because we weren't far from being Spurs on Man City at that moment in time. And who knows what would have happened. We were the team that just missed out in terms of qualification. And you've seen in aspects of revenue and stuff like that. And that's the top six with those two sides included within that. So it is interesting. Now we're going towards a top 8 potentially with Newcastle and Villa. I think that is kind of the motions within that being recognised because of the qualification of the Champions League. But that's now going on, 15 odd years since that point. So within that era with Villa, who was your favourite player for Villa in that era? Who's your guy?
Ashley Young, by a bit of a distance as well, I think. There's just something so electric about the anticipation of him getting the ball in the corner and dribbling against his guy, and you knew a big chance was going to come from it. He was just danger. He was just electric, bro. And yeah, I genuinely miss that. I guess the closest thing we have to it is Bailey, but even Bailey's more measured than Ashley Young. He's not really, apart from sometimes last season, Bailey will get the ball and he would be doing some crazy stuff, but because the defense get back, etc., it's not as electric because he's not being instructed by Emery to be like that. So yeah, I just loved Ashley Young getting on the ball growing up. What about you?
Yeah, I'm Ashley Young as well. Ashley Young was just quality, man. He's so good. But there's just names within that time like Martin Lawson. Martin Lawson's Colossus, Olaf Malberg, and then they switch over in the period to Richard Dunn, James Collins, Stan Petrov, obviously, Milner, Barry, just Gabby, that team, John Carew,
Friedel,
and then you got others as well. You reminisce, Ria Coke was about Marlon Harewood, and your fullbacks Young, Warnock. Yeah, man, that Brad Friedel, that team is just iconic for that in that reason. And now this team is so much better in terms of they've qualified for Champions League and they're playing Champions League football, and they've eclipsed that team now. But that team will still be remembered for the players that were in that point because of the whole aura and around the Premier League. But it'll be interesting to see how this team is looked at, and hopefully we win more things. We win things with this team and go on to do great stuff, and how this team will be looked at in 10, 15 years' time, innit?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I don't
interesting,
know. When
Konsa.
we qualified for Champions League, it was almost like, okay, I can let go now.
Yeah, yeah.
2008 to 2012 or 2011, whenever it was, like I kind of knocked them down a bit then because I was like, okay, I can finally get over that now.
Yeah,
That's how I felt.
it's things like, young at that time now. At that time, then was our best player, and there was like people I saw, like I've seen things online and stuff saying, is Young's Villa's best Premier League player? And it's like, well, no, not now, because obviously you'd have players like Paul Maguire and that back in the day, but now you've got to look at this side with Watkins and Emi Martinez and say they're better than Young in terms, especially Ollie Watkins now with the numbers he produced last season. No one's had a season like that for us. So you kind of
What was Young's numbers in that one? Was it 9 goals, 16 assists?
yeah, he got 9-16, yeah.
What did Ali
And
get?
Watkins
19,
got 19, wasn't it 13 last year?
might have been 13, yeah.
Yeah, 90. You got 32 GA.
But
So it's like,
I think for the context of the time, and if we're comparing the eras, and I think Young's definitely like top 5.
yeah, no, sure, but some may have argued he was one of the best. But I think now it's kind of like
Benteke as well.
this team and the players within that, yeah, for sure. Benteke as well. Yeah, but I think Ollie's eclipsed that last season as well now. So yeah, it's interesting. It's good to see all the stuff you see on Twitter and TikTok and stuff, all the compilations and that. It's quality and just reminiscing. But yeah, bro, I think we'll call it there. We're going to be doing a match preview for Everton, so we'll go into further detail regarding that and all things about the game as well. This was just a quick catch up with everything regarding Villa and just looking forward ahead to the Premier League games in the big month ahead, man. There's so much going on. Yeah, bro. Is there anything else you want to touch on?
Just come on, Villa, man. Everton and Wolves up next in the Premier League. Last season, our 4th game, we lost, didn't we, against Liverpool? So we have a chance to eclipse how we started last season because we had 6 points in the first 4 games. Because we lost to Newcastle and Liverpool away, but we beat Burnley and Everton at home. So let's eclipse our points and get ahead of where we were last season.
Facts. Wolves already put in as well. I hope Gary Shaw will be okay. My all-time favourite player. Yeah, facts. Gary Shaw went into a coma, didn't he, recently? An icon at Villa. Part of the great side that won the European Cup and the league as well. Some quality player back then. And obviously a number of people will have watched Gary Shaw live at that time, and he'll be dear to their hearts, and he's dear to a lot of Villa fans' hearts. So I hope all is okay, and he does recover from this as well. But yeah, that was shocking news the other day when that came out. So yeah. Okay, bro, I think we'll wrap it up here. Again, if you could subscribe, we'll be dropping a preview tomorrow for the Everton game as well. That'll be more encompassing of everything that's going to be involved within that game. We'll have a look how Everton will set up as well and discuss their start, because they haven't won a game yet and they'll be looking to come to Villa Park and get some points. But hopefully it's 3 points for Villa. Good fixtures coming up. Yeah, let's go on and yeah, up the Villa.